All right, boys. Hopefully we can hear me now. That was shitty.
Heard the music.
I had to restart it all over again.
Yep,
All
it's
right,
working now.
let's try this again. Start with what we're playing this week. You guys want to go ahead and go with what you guys have? I haven't had a lot of time to play much this week, so we'll start off with what you guys got, and I'll add what I can where I can. You know.
Want to turn up the heat?
Well, I've been playing Conan Exiles because you guys put a server up, and I blame you for all of my time just being gone.
But that's always fun. Conan Exiles has turned out to be a pretty decent game, I think. What about you guys that have been playing?
I've been enjoying it a lot better this time around. I think combat's really fun.
Yeah, the combo system and stuff.
Yeah.
It makes it a little more engaging, I guess. So that's
Mhm.
good. What about you, Tarnus?
I'm enjoying the combat. Apparently, I struck first blood in our little clan war on the server.
Yeah, you talk about
Wouldn't-
AFK blood though, fool.
Wouldn't really call that a.
Yeah,
Hey,
it was
two clans, even if it's one person versus one person, it's still a clan war. Come on.
Yep.
I don't think that's how that works.
Especially in our
That's,
seven
that's
person
more of like
server.
a family feud.
But yeah, I see. All right, so you're backstabbing bitches is what you're saying now. I get it.
No, I'm using chemical warfare. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I didn't know anyone was home, so I just threw gas bombs.
That's pretty funny though. It's so I what was cool is they added those though. As a side note, they added like alchemy in the game because originally they wanted to add magic to the game, like a whole
Right.
full blown magic system, and they decided against it. They wanted to just improve combat instead. And so, just to kind of touch on magic, they kind of added some like globe weapons, basically, to kind of fill in for that, I guess. You know,
Yeah, the orbs.
yeah. So that's pretty cool. Like I haven't tried those out yet, but it sounds neat.
The
How's-
grease ones are actually pretty funny, especially if you're on a hill and people are coming towards you. You can just throw down a grease orb, and they just slide right into you.
That's awesome. Does how's the PVE aspect as far as they were supposed to improve on AI and all that, but I haven't played far enough to really notice.
I mean, they made it better. I mean, there's still some problems. Hitboxes are kind of weird still, but you think they would have fixed that first before updating the actual combat system. Like you think hitboxes would be the important part of it. And then dodge rolling is still kind of buggy. Like you'll dodge roll, but you still take damage, and there's no real like rhyme or reason why it's happening, other than like maybe a good excuse is lag, but you can't really tell because
Possible.
you can do the same thing twice, and one time you'll take damage, the other time you won't. So
Has anybody been using dual knives?
I use the dual knives. You can bleed a lot of people with that. The only problem is you also can bleed and cripple with an axe. So
Ooh.
I've been using an axe more than the daggers.
That sounds pretty good, actually. I don't know. It sounds pretty nice. But what's the secondary attack on dual daggers?
Well, the one is a thrust,
That's
Attack?
the strong attack. Yeah, the heavy attack.
and then the other one you just start spinning like a fucking tornado and just yeah.
It's like an AOE or something.
Yeah, it's like a no. I was getting attacked by I think 3 or 4 people, and I think even my Sargram I bled him. I had him on bleed 6,
Mhm.
and the rest of the guys just bled out completely.
All right, so
you
right now we're
accidentally
talking
got
about Conan, which just came out. Nothing. We haven't talked about anything new yet. That's cool. Yeah. What do you know? What the secondary on the axe is? Just like as a preference. Difference.
I think a lot of the secondaries are more of the swinging outright.
actually
Right.
no. I only use two-handers, and almost all of them, the secondaries don't do any swinging. It's mostly like single target. But the regular light attacks are almost predominantly AOE on pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Well-
The only thing I've used so far is sword and shield. So the secondary for sword and shield.
Yeah, the pike, the AOE, the left trigger, left attack, which is light, is all AOE. And then the right heavy attack is single poke, single poke, single poke, and then your last one is an AOE. You like swing it around your head, and you'll trip everybody with it.
Oh, that's cool. That's a neat.
No, that's still the left attack. Never mind, that's the left attack. The right attack is all single poke and it causes bleed. And then for the two-handed sword, okay, the two-handed sword does have a little AOE in the heavy. It has one of the four moves is a small AOE, but you kind of just drag the sword around you on the ground, so it doesn't have a huge hitbox. If something's right in front of you, you'll
Immediately
get
around
it.
you.
But,
Yeah.
and
That's
then
cool.
the hammer, the heavy attack for the warhammers is it's all single target. I mean, well, no, last one, yeah, the last move is AOE, but they don't have a huge AOE range on those two. Like the sweep of the pike is probably the biggest AOE you get out of a two-handed weapon. Granted, I haven't used battle axe yet.
Yeah,
the two-handed axes, so I don't know if it uses sword or hammer for its attack, or if it's completely different because you don't get one for a while.
Yeah, how do you like the crafting now? Because I noticed it has a lot more steps for crafting. Like back in the day when we first started playing, for example, leather, you just needed you just had to make the leather armor, but now you have to make like the padding first and then the armor.
So yeah, you got to kind of make like the
Lining.
mold for it essentially. Yeah, it's called lining or padding. It depends on what you're making, but
Right.
yeah, like it's basically like you make a mold and then you use that mold to make it, and then the mold disappears in the process, kind of thing.
Sure.
Like that's probably the easiest way to kind of explain it without you seeing it.
And it's still
So basically,
repairable.
in order to make gloves and boots, you have to make two of them because it comes in a set. So,
Got
but
it.
I like it. I like that they did that. It kind of prevents you from being able to like just pump armor out like crazy, because it actually takes twice as long technically. And then like there's a lot of armor choices now too, because back when we played it was like light leather, heavy leather, and then metal, and that was it. Like that's all you had. And now there's light leather, medium leather, heavy leather, leather with metal in it, and then there's metal, and then there's like 4 other tiers of like religion armor you can make with just
cultural,
leather, and
yeah.
then I think there's more with metal. But I
There's
haven't
some
gotten
like
to that yet,
cultural
so.
ones. Yeah, I read about that. It's pretty cool.
Like one incorporates bone, because like we always thought back when it first came out, we're like, why is there no bone armor? Like this is the best game to have bone armor, and there's not a bone armor. And now they have one of the religions uses bones for its armor, so that's kind of cool.
Neat.
Yeah, the bone shield I started off with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can make a bone shield. Yeah, that's right.
yeah, and
They used bones
also
before though.
yeah, also they made they let you farm now, which is kind of neat. Like
Yeah,
with
they added
seeds
like
and
plants
stuff.
and stuff,
Yeah.
and fishing.
Okay.
I don't think that was out yet when we played. I think it was on the
Oh.
verge of coming out when we quit.
Yeah, I
think,
don't remember
but,
it being in there, but
Fishing
yeah.
is like the best way to get meat if you can't eat raw meat like me.
Survival, baby, survival 10 or something, right?
Well, you can eat raw meat after like endurance like 5.
And- no, it's 10.
Or 10.
It's 10.
Yeah, it's 10. But still, yeah, no, that's cool. It's a cool perk, right?
First thing
So-
I got, I was like, fuck this. I'm eating raw meat. I'm not cooking this shit.
right?
First 4 levels, I was like, yeah.
That's
endurance
kind of
10.
what I did too, but then I'm not sure if it's really worth it because you can cook meat so easily once you
It's
start
worth it
getting
if like for when the server first started and nobody like actually had like the materials to sit there and cook the meat. Like you're pretty much starving
Wood
immediately.
and
And I was like,
stuff,
you know
yeah.
what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna eat the raw meat.
Yeah.
Granted, cooked meat does still heal you faster. It's just convenient not to have to cook meat.
Sure. You
So-
can just eat it when you need to. Well,
Yeah.
I always start out when the server first started, I just grabbed tons of eggs and just lived off eggs until I had the meat.
Yeah.
Still a thing. Eggs are still very. And the starter zone's the same. Like it's identical. They didn't change any of it, so it's like really
Right.
really easy.
It's
kinda.
everything north, basically.
Yeah, and then once you get into the desert area, you're pretty much on your own at that point. But there's a fuck ton of eggs everywhere when you first spawn, so
Pretty good
it
game
makes it a little easy.
as far as you guys are concerned with the
So, yeah, it's
release.
pretty good. They made the building a lot better. So and added pieces to it, and then of course climbing's fucking badass.
Yeah, I
Um,
like it too. The climbing they did pretty early. Actually, still I got to see it a little bit before I quit.
By the way, did you find the Mountaineer guy?
No, but there's like 15 NPCs you can talk to, so
Yeah, there's a guy,
There's a lot
Mountaineer
of
guy that lets you get climbing gloves and climbing boots that helps you with the climbing. It's been, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
One problem I'm seeing so far is the boss mechanics. The bosses or the big baddies are very kiteable. We actually used a boss to clear out a very large village encampment. All the other mobs stopped chasing us after a little bit, but this boss just kept chasing us. And so we just let him into this giant village encampment, and it killed everyone. And it stayed there. It didn't go back to its spawn. It just stayed there and just kept murdering people. So we just kept harvesting all of their
free loot.
equipment,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
their loot, and all their souls.
That's crazy. Yeah, and that may be newer. I don't know when they implemented the bosses, so they might have to patch it, fix it at some point.
Yeah, I know there's a scorpion one near us, and it'll follow you for a good while. I mean, you can still outrun it. Like if you just keep running, eventually it'll stop following you. But
yeah, I've
you have
seen
to
a
get
spider
pretty
one,
far
and that
from it.
was it for me so far. That's the only boss I've seen.
I've seen
Like
the crocodile, the scorpion,
massive.
the spider, and that's it so far.
There's what's the a shellback that we were having a lot of fun with?
Yeah.
A boss, like a shellback boss.
Yeah, there's a shellback boss,
The rum.
Cool.
and
There's
then
I'm pretty sure there's like at least 1 or 2 bosses per
Per
mob.
species or whatever.
and then there's actual named bosses too.
yeah,
Shellback
there was,
or
yeah,
whatever.
that one
Got
was
you.
named. Whenever we got killed by it, it was named. It's like you were killed by this. I was like, oh, thanks. But
Cool.
another one is there's this. I've been trying to figure out what the hell this is. It's on an island and it looks like a small mountain. And I stood up next to it and I poked it and I thought it was rocks. It wasn't rocks. It was not rocks at all.
Oh yeah.
And
It was one of those mobs, huh?
I screamed like a little girl and ran.
One of the things I like in Conan is, or one of the other things I noticed was, you know those spiky dudes that are like near iron usually, Jiggly?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like demon-like rock
Yeah.
thingies.
So remember in beta where those guys, they just walked around, right? But then in the new game, I'm just like seeing these guys come out of nowhere, and I'm like, where are these guys coming from? I didn't see this guy before. Because now they actually are burrowed under the ground until you get close enough, and then they jump out and fuck you up. And I'm
Yep,
like,
they scream at you.
I didn't even
and
know this
chase
was. Yeah, like I didn't know this was normal behavior because in the beta it was just like they were there, and you're like, okay, he's there. So it's kind of it's cool to see kind of the new behaviors because
And like
they're sort of
sometimes, like,
scripting
'cause
it.
they look the same no matter what, whenever they're burrowed. But sometimes they trick you because you'll just be walking along and you're like, oh, that's just an iron deposit, and then boom, and you're like, oh shit, and you
yeah,
start running.
comes out. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I'm glad we tried it again once it released. So we'll see how it goes.
And I still love this game because that's honestly how I met you guys. You guys
Oh yeah.
were giving away a bunch of keys, and I thought you guys were pretty cool, and I've stuck around ever since.
Yeah, it's one of the few, but it was cool. Yeah, it's a good game. I think I definitely want to play it some probably after the con settles down. I'll have more time. So awesome. Well, Ian, I heard you, and also was it John? We're playing Laser
Yeah, me
League.
and John. We're playing a lot of Laser League. Yeah. Well, a lot. He was playing way more than me because I've been working and having a life. Just kidding. But no, he's played a lot. But it's really fun. The games maybe last 10 minutes total. Maybe. So they go by real quick, which is funny as fuck. And it's just a lot of fun. It's purely PvP as far as co-op goes because we couldn't get co-op to work against bots whenever, like, we were trying to get one of our other friends to play and, like, try and teach him some things. But, yeah. It's real fun. Real fast. It's fun. It's fast. It's... Dominion? I mean,
Is
Laser
it-
League?
Is it pretty chaotic? Because it looked chaotic when we were looking at it
Yeah.
last week. So
Yeah, some of the maps, like, are way more chaotic than others. Like, some of the maps, they have this thing, like, this power-up that you can pick up called Escalation, and basically what it does is it just makes the whole map go really fucky, depending on what map you're on. So, yeah, no, some of the maps are way worse than others. But it's also, like, there's no, as far as I can tell, there's no way of, like, selecting what map you do. It's just randomized every time, which is sort of cucky, but at the same time, it's like, certain classes work a little bit better for certain maps. Like I said, that escalation thing, technically a thief can steal that escalation. So that's, yeah.
does
The classes mean a little bit
do
more
you
now.
pick your classes before the map's chosen or?
Yeah. No, you can see the map at the bottom, like right
Okay.
corner,
Okay.
and then you can select your class based off of that if you want,
Cool.
if you pay attention. If you lose, you get to switch. So like there's 3 rounds, best of 3 wins. And if you lose, you can change your class if you feel like whatever you're playing isn't good enough or working
To
well
help
enough.
counter or whatever.
But if you win, you just have to stay exactly what you're playing. So,
That's cool. Gives you a little bit of
Yeah.
a way to retaliate if need be or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, sounds good. Is it worth the price, you think?
Like $12? Yeah, no, 100% worth the price. It's really fun.
Cool. I may go ahead and
It was
pick it
on
up just
sale.
to have it, but
The first couple of days it was on sale for like $9, but now I think it's back up to 12. Ooh, big price point, but it's like really cheap for what I've already played. What 10, 12 hours of it? I'm gonna 100% play more. So
cool. Good game. You can
Good
just pick
times.
up and play for a few minutes and then be done if you need to be.
So what you're saying is a game that we've actually reviewed is good, and we should probably
We
okay.
thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be good, and
'Cause I played the
then
beta.
it was good. Hey,
it was.
Hey.
we did it. We did it once so far.
Well,
All right.
1 out of 12.
We can do it more. We'll keep going.
Yeah, I guess we'll continue doing this thing. Cool.
Definitely just unplugged something. I don't know what I unplugged.
Well, fortunately, it was nothing to do with you connecting to the internet or being viewed on the stream, so we're good.
True.
Yep. Oh man, this is trippy. Why? What is this from?
It's
Oh, your lights
probably
are like messed up. They keep switching, unless that's you.
No,
Doing
that's
it.
normal.
Okay.
That's normal.
So they have
last
it like
thing I want to
that.
bring up, but I really haven't had a ton of time, is I put a little bit into State of Decay, only about an hour and a half. Did anybody else buy it yet?
No,
Even
but I
buy it?
have watched people play it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool so far. Like you get to like, I was hoping this is how it would work. You get to choose where you start your settlement, which is neat. And then like you can expand it. So I don't know in the first one because I didn't play it. So maybe Ian can help me.
You can kind of expand it in the first one.
Okay, so in this
It's
one
not
you get
really-
expansion slots, and you can keep getting those expansion slots to build your base bigger and bigger. So it's pretty neat. So it looks pretty cool, and I've already done some missions. Like, you know, you got to keep up with supplies, make sure you have enough food and all that in your store. You know, like your storage basically, so that you can keep living. But it's pretty cool so far. I'm having a good time, but I've only played like an hour and a half, so we'll probably
The
revisit it.
biggest issue I've seen with it is like there's a bunch of bugs that eventually just sort of start popping up more and more the longer you play.
Yeah, so
Especially if you're
wanna
doing
keep an eye
co-op.
on that.
Yeah, like so any streamer that I saw that was like doing it in co-op,
Mhm.
the bugs were just rampant throughout it.
Worse.
Like
Yeah.
one of them was losing control of the character he was playing. Like the AI was taking over as he was playing it. It was real bad, real gross.
Are you sure that wasn't them succumbing to the blood plague or whatever?
No, it was just him playing. Like they weren't even going anywhere. They're just like standing in the base and like about to go outside, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, I'm losing control. I'm not moving. This is like something else is moving me right now.
Huh.
It was weird.
Well, we'll see if
So,
the bugs
yeah.
iron themselves out at all. We'll kind of
Yeah.
visit it next week when I have a little more time to play.
I mean, it just came out, so it's probably just like
yeah,
initial release sort of things that they're just sort of discovering that they didn't really see in testing.
for sure.
which
yeah,
happens.
for sure. Cool. Let's get into some new releases, guys.
All right.
I think the first one we wanted to talk about was well, it doesn't really matter. It's not necessarily in order, but I have Detroit Become Human up first, which looks really cool. I'm gonna grab the trailer real quick, and we can watch it if y'all want. Let me swap over to video. Okay, and I'll turn on the YouTubes. There you go. All right, let's check this one out, guys. This is Detroit Become Human.
More and more androids show signs of deviancy. There are millions in circulation. If they become unstable, the consequences will be disastrous.
My name is Kara. This is where it all began. The world's forge. And it will all end.
You do the housework, the washing, you cook the meals, and you take care of Alice.
My name is Connor. I'm the android sent by CyberLife. The company has allocated a specialized model to assist investigators.
My name is Marcus. And just like you, I was a slave.
Thank you, Marcus.
Then I chose to open my eyes, to take back my freedom, and decide who I wanted to be. Now, I have come to tell you that you can be your own masters. I've come to tell you that you don't have to obey them anymore.
Get away! Fight Jericho!
I know someone who can help you.
Pull the trigger. How do I know you are not a deviant?
They are not machines!
I could take you there.
Storyteller! Go! Save Alice!
My name is Kara.
My name is Connor.
My name is Marcus.
This is our story.
All right, and that's it. So there's a couple reasons why we want to talk about this game. Some of them are bad, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. One of the bigger bad ones is that it's PS4 exclusive. Now, I don't know specifically, if y'all want to say anything in particular to that, Ian or Tarnus. But I know y'all were interested in playing the game, and now you can't because it's only on PS4.
Yeah.
So
sad.
I've been watching this trailer or this game for a while, and the story just looked like a great story. I was all ready and excited to play, and then you watch that trailer, and it's like, oh, by the way, exclusive. It's like I'm getting tired of the exclusivity now for a lot of these games.
Well, you say that, but it's like some consoles need that sort of thing for people to buy them. You know what I mean? So, like, while I understand exactly what you're saying, like, I feel like nothing should be exclusive either. But I mean, it's just a marketing. It's a marketing ploy. That's how they sell consoles. It sucks.
Otherwise, everybody'd have a computer.
Well, I mean, I understand the need for a console because it's definitely cheaper to get a console.
And easier to deal with.
Yeah, but definitely if I had a choice, I'd always go with a computer. But I understand the need for a console. It's just like you guys are saying, the fact that it's exclusive and I'm not going to get to play it really kind of blows. I mean, I do have a PS4, but I don't buy anything for it, so maybe this is something I buy and play. It looks really cool, like you said. It's made by Quantic Dream, which are the people who made Heavy Rain, so the story's going to be real good. And the fact that you play like 3 different characters with different perspectives, different skills and stuff like that, it seems really interesting to me. But with it being an exclusive, it may be something we never look at, because we don't have a way to play it. So
and there have been exclusives in the past that have come to a PC port. So
yeah, it just takes a while.
It's not impossible. It does take a while. Like it may be a year or 2 years out, but I mean, potentially we might have a chance.
Yeah, look at GTA. I mean, that was a long time before it came out on PC. But
yeah,
it's just one of those things you have to deal with. I mean, I think it's always going to happen until everything uses the exact same CD, which may never happen either for the same reason.
There's also like the whole fact of publishers are making it happen, because if you remember, originally Destiny was supposed to be a PlayStation 4 exclusive, and then they just made like exclusive content for it purely. But so that's evolved a lot due to like the publisher changing their whole idea on that. So now it's on PC, etc.
Yeah, and it also depends like if the publisher wants. If they feel like they need more sales, like if the PS4 one crashes and burns and they see there's demand on PC for it, potentially they release a port for it.
Yeah, and I was watching this the other day. Somebody was playing it and they were doing the rooftop scene where somebody was trying to like kill a kid or
hostage.
something. Yeah, the hostage thing, and it's really cool because you like your choices determine the success of if you're gonna convince them to stop or not or whatever, and it's really neat. And apparently it also doesn't really have a game over screen. Like your character can die and then that's basically the end of that character's story, but like you just move on to the next character or whatever, right? But the longer you get the character, the more you learn about the story or the mystery, the more you solve, blah blah blah. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah.
I don't know how it will work overall if like all 3 characters die too soon. I don't know what will happen, but
It's one of those games where like every decision you make has like a consequence too. Like
Yeah.
it's really story driven in that way.
yeah.
From what it looks like anyway. Like I've seen 3 or 4 of the hostage because like there's different outcomes for it,
hmm
and I've seen like a playlist that had or a video that had all of them and like how that sort of affects that because that was the original demo that was released for it back in like 2017. Was that scene basically?
Yeah, it looks
And
pretty
so-
neat. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be really good on story just because of who made it, but it's they're almost like interactive movies, to be honest. So it's like it's really cool and interesting, I think, but at the same time, something that's probably lower on my list since it's only on PS4 right now. So
Not only that, but like it only looks like it's open world adventure 3D, but at the same time, it's like most of it seems to be I press this button,
right,
sort of.
yeah, it's an interactive movie. Yep,
which
and,
is
and
not.
that's okay. I mean,
I don't know. It's like Risk of Rain or whatever that game was called a long time ago. Rain something. I don't know.
Yeah, you said it earlier.
yeah, Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain.
Heavy
That
Rain,
one.
yeah.
I
It's the
forgot.
same-
I wasn't listening.
It's the
I
same
was watching the
fucking
video.
company.
Same
That's
company.
what I was saying.
Is
Anyways,
it?
yeah. Anyways, it does. If it looks interesting, they definitely have a playable demo, so you can definitely demo it. But it's $60 to play. So it's one
I mean,
of those.
For a
It's a
console
PS4
game,
game.
it's to be
Yeah.
expected.
Yeah, I agree, but
Console
it's,
games, $60. That's pretty much how it fucking works.
yeah, it's one of those things. I'll wait if I do want to get it. I'm definitely gonna wait until.
Yeah,
it
wait a year when
drops,
they go on sale
'cause
for like 45 or.
I'm in no rush. It's not like a top priority action game or anything.
Yeah.
But it does look really interesting and possibly really good. So we'll see how it goes. All right, cool. Well,
I'm just waiting for it to show up on the PlayStation Reddit, where they just like, look at the snow, look how realistic it is, like they have for the past 2 PS4 exclusives.
Sure. Do we want to touch on Dark Souls Remastered? Huh?
We can. I can touch on some stuff of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot to say about it.
I
I've heard good things and bad things. What's up?
so if Cal's watching the stream, he's gonna chime in because Cal has a hard on for this game. Understandably, it's a good game. But
well, hold on. Just to clarify, Cal really likes Dark Souls.
yeah,
and
the
this
whole
is
line.
supposed to be a remaster, and there's things on the remaster you'd think that would be better, but aren't really. And so that's
Right.
the difference of opinion there, obviously.
Yeah.
But go ahead
Right.
and continue.
So here's basically why people don't like it if they're on the bad side of it, and then why people like it on the good side. The pro is it's a remaster. The con is it's just a remaster. Like they literally didn't try to do anything more than just make the graphics look better. They fixed they fixed some of the major bugs that like made the game not fun to play. And that was only like a handful of them out of the couple, 20 or so that exist. And they did extremely minor, like weapon buffing and nerfing to make the game just a little like better overall, I guess. Like they didn't really do a whole lot of tweaking, and that's what people wanted them to do in a remaster. Is they don't want an HD pack because honestly, there's a mod that you can get that literally makes the game look exactly how they made it.
a lot of
Like
stuff.
it was already a thing.
Yeah.
So people are like kind of just like pissed off that they didn't actually like do anything that they didn't say they were gonna do, because they really only told people we're just gonna make the game look better and we're maybe gonna fix some stuff. Like there's not gonna be a whole lot of shit going on here, and then we're gonna sell it at fucking $60. So
Also, to
mean-
be honest, I'm throwing the comparison up, and it doesn't look incredibly different. It's brightened up
it's
a
really
bit.
not.
Yeah, it's brightened
It's
up a
really
bit, but
not
other than
like
that,
you're not gonna probably notice like the lighting is better. That's really all they did is just make the lighting look better and then add details to like armor and stuff. Like you just saw that helmet has like dirt marks on it now. Like it's really not like much going on, and that's what I think people are hating on it. Like personally, I wasn't excited for it coming out in the first place because I knew this is what it was going to be. Like the company doesn't do anything if they don't have to do it. They barely patched Dark Souls 3 in the first year it was out because they just didn't feel like it was necessary. So the only thing they would patch is the PvP stuff. They wouldn't actually patch the actual game itself unless it was game breaking and would cause them to lose money. Like that's the way the company handles itself is that whole ordeal. So
I mean, let's put it this way: they've made a really good franchise. Everybody loves it. So if people are gonna spend $60 if they really want.
No, they're gonna make money off this game.
Yeah.
Because and they didn't have to invest a lot of time into it. That's what I'm
Do
saying.
you know
it's
if the remaster increased frames or anything?
people have been trying to test that out, and some people have gone both ways. So it'd be. I think it's just like hope your computer handles it better is kind of like where it's at right now.
That's the problem. You can't use the same computer you played Dark Souls 1 on and then play the remaster and expect it to have the same frames. But yeah, okay. So I mean, in theory, it's been optimized.
The overall gist of what you should expect from this is don't expect anything different.
Sure.
Just expect to play with an HD pack. That's really the kind of feeling most people would get from this game.
And
so
then you
that's
don't
kind
have to
of
mod it.
where
So
we're
if you're not into modding or whatever. Plus, I guess this is going to release on everything anyway.
Yeah, this will release on PC.
Xbox One,
so
Switch,
which you couldn't get. Yeah, which
yeah.
is good.
So all those, yeah. So
that's where they kind of help themselves is since they're done making Dark Souls games, they're just kind of introducing the games on different consoles now.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I just figured we'd hit on on the remastered.
That's all I got.
All right. So the next one I want to look at, which you guys, I don't even know if you ended up looking at it, is Agony. Which, man, I don't know why I do this to myself. Let me copy the URL. We'll take a little peek at it real quick. This is a survival horror, basically, just so you guys are aware. And let me just say before I switch it to the video that this was almost an adults only game, and it got brought down to a mature game. Okay. So that's how kind of fucked up this game is. But here's the official trailer. I don't think there's anything too crazy in it.
The fall. It's the last thing I remember. Memories tear apart my soul, consumed by the endlessly burning fire. Again into ashes, revealing ruined bones. I'm falling to the darkest place, where light causes pain, and darkness brings solace. Into a place which deprives one of faith and erases memories, which leads to madness and emphasizes the boundary between people and beasts. The road that I must follow.
Okay, one thing I want to point out real quick is the one thing I don't like about that trailer is you can't fucking hear the guy talk. Just
you can't what? Sorry.
All the sound is like overbearing. You can't hear the guy talk or hear anything he's saying.
Yeah, it was
the
rough.
worst.
Also, I'm fairly certain that that's literally the opening scene of the game.
Oh yeah, probably is.
Because it looked like at the end there, like his hands were about to pop up when they cut it down, so it looked like that's where you start the game.
Yeah, and it may be, but the whole point is a survival horror. I'm gonna throw up the official gameplay trailer right now, and you'll kind of see that like how disgusting it looks. But to be honest with you, I'm kind of curious about the game because I love survival games. I do love horror games, but I can only play them in like short spurts because I get kind of edgy if I play with one for way too long. It's one of those things where I really like horror, but I have to like watch a movie, like watch some other show afterwards, so I don't freak myself out later. So I'm not the best horror guy, but I do love horror. It's really fun. But it just looks really nasty. Like, there's blood everywhere. Obviously, there's like, bodies and all that kind of stuff everywhere. So it looks really crazy. But I do like that it's a puzzle solving type game / stealth game. There's no like combat. It's kind of like a lot of horror games where you don't really have a good way to fight. You gotta kind of figure out a different way to play. You know what I mean?
Like Resident Evil, like in the running scenes, essentially.
Yeah, or there's a ton of horror games out there these days where you have no way to defend yourself. You have to get around the bad guy. So
Yeah.
But it looks pretty cool. They also have they implemented an endless mode. So after you finish the campaign, you can just do random levels that are randomly generated and try to escape them. So it's kind of cool. But the premise is basically you're trying to escape hell. I mean, that's the premise. So it looks really interesting. You can possess spirits of people and eventually lesser demons and greater demons and you get different powers depending on what you possess, so to help you solve puzzles and stuff. So it sounds pretty neat. It looks kind of cool. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I mean, I wouldn't personally. I don't like these kind of games because it's not enough action for me.
Sure.
Like I'll play a horror game like Resident Evil, for instance, where it's some puzzle, some action, some puzzle, some action back and forth. This looks like it just bore me to death.
Sure.
I don't like not being able to sprint. I mean, you may be able to. I can't see if he can or not, but yeah, I don't know. I definitely like the the style of it though. Like, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And of course, escaping hell is a pretty good idea for a game too.
Sure. Yeah. Well, the one thing I was going to say, you said it looks pretty cool, and I also agree. I think it looks cool. The only thing is I feel like it's going to get boring because everything's red or on fire.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, it's just going to be the same.
You're going to turn around and look at your white wall, and it's going to be pink, and you're going to be like, what the fuck?
But yeah, I'm hoping there's some good jump scares in it and stuff. I'm sure there will be, just shit popping out or whatever. But
yeah, for sure. Noises and stuff.
It looks like it could be pretty good. I thought it was at least worth taking a look at. It comes out May 29th. It's $40, so it's not the highest price point it could be. It may be one of those I pick up still on a sale because I don't play the horror genre that much. But it's definitely one I want to pick up. I think I may pick it up, as soon as I can get it on sale.
Yeah.
So, but it looks pretty cool.
I'm watching a gameplay trailer of it, and it has sound effects that I legitimately have heard in a different horror game before.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can't think of what the game was called, but it's one where you keep going back and forth between the past and current time. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it has the exact same sound effects.
Well, that's interesting to know.
Yeah,
they just took the sound effects. And I mean, I'm sure there's common sound effects for horror games anyway.
I'm wondering what do they have to tone down to make it rated M?
Right. Well, so you may just go look it up or read about it, but there was a lot of there's still nudity in this game, but there was a lot more.
Everything was
and
nudity, probably.
I feel there might have been some other things with nudity, you can see nudity right now, but I think there was some other stuff mixed with nudity that just kind of made it go over the edge. And we don't have to mention it, but I'm just saying there was some stuff. So anyway, so they had to tone it down. Ian's like, "Yeah, I'll show you. But anyways, it looks interesting. So I'm we'll see where it goes. You know what I mean? We'll see how it turns out. So cool. Well, I think the third game we're going to talk about is Bless, and I think we're going to bring somebody in for this, which always fucks our cameras. So I'm going to switch it to the scene that doesn't have any of our cameras, probably. I'm going to go ahead and show the trailer. Oh, never mind. We already invited him, I think. So let me swap over to the trailer real quick.
Oh, hello?
Hey.
No, that was me.
Yeah, and that's my bad. That's my bad on the sound, boys. It's on there now, so just no sound for that that trailer. All right, cool. So Bless is what we're talking about, just in case you missed that, because I swapped scenes with no sound in it. But we're gonna talk. We brought Chum with us to talk about it because he's been doing a lot of research and stuff. And I wanted to have somebody who knew a little bit more about it than I did. I have some points I want to make about Bless and like some things that interest me. I know some of us are not even really interested in playing it because it's another MMO. But you know that's how it goes. So first of all, Chum, I wanna just bring up something, and I don't know if you can clarify or not. But one of the big complaints I was hearing about Bless is that there's no in-game content yet. Now, before you defend it or don't defend it, okay, I don't really care. What game ever has in-game content when it first launches anyway, really? Okay, so that's my defense for that. But do you know or have you seen anything about in-game content in Bless and how it's going to be?
Right now, as far as in-game content goes, there's like obviously your in-game dungeons. I believe there's like a raid or two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
for
was
PvE.
2 in-game dungeons so far for PvE stuff.
And you obviously have your PvP and open world PvP as well, arenas and whatnot go into that.
Which, to be honest, for a game like Bless, which is kind of more focused on PvP, is what you consider in-game anyway, correct?
Yeah, as a PvPer, that's mainly what I'll be doing. I'll do the others just to kind of gear up.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Well, also what I was reading, and I don't know if did you play any of the early access stuff, or have you just been reading everything?
Yeah, I played Japan servers up until like level 30, and that was really it. I didn't care too much to play it.
Yeah.
Unless I'm really interested in the game, I just won't do that because it's just
waste of time.
like I'll do that same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, my question is, so what I was hearing is there's basically, for gear, there's like 2 versions of gear. There's a drop PvE version, and then there's a version you can basically craft. So essentially, at least from what I can tell, is you can almost craft basically equivalent armor as getting armor from like PvE stuff. Is that what you saw, or what do you?
It's just gonna depend on the stats you want. Like, obviously, there are going to be, in my opinion, there's only a couple crafted pieces that are actually better, but they're so gated that it's gonna take you time to get to that point anyway.
Right.
So it's like, realistically, if you're quote-unquote a hardcore player, you'll have the gear through drops or PvP or some sort of currency, rather than waiting for it to be crafted.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, and I saw some of the currency stuff I was reading about it. And that's in-game currency. It's not bot currency, by the way. They're not doing any pay-to-win, as far as I can tell. They do have bot currency, but it's all cosmetic or 20%. XP boost, right? Stuff like that. So nothing pay to win, you know. So that's good, I guess, you know. And I guess a lot of MMOs start that way at least. So we'll see how that turns out later. But you know, and the Japanese version, I don't think they had any pay to win either. So cool. So Mike, so what are you guys going to be doing? Mostly PvP, but what drew you to the game, Chum? You have any like things you really like about it?
Honestly, I think Bliss right now in its current state that's coming to NA and EU versions, there's nothing really spectacular about the game, but there's nothing that makes it a bad game. So it's like,
Gotcha.
all in all, it's just like, I wouldn't say mediocre, I'd say it's just a good game, but there's nothing that makes it over the top, like, wow, I really want to play this game forever, but there's
Sure.
nothing extremely bad that makes you instantly quit in a week.
But it is a good filler MMO, basically, is what you're saying until something else comes out. Right now, you know,
Yeah.
it's something to do, something to play. I heard that the combat is okay. It's like a mix between action combat and regular. Like you still have to tab target enemies and cast your abilities, but you can also roll out of abilities, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a weird hybrid. There's
Yeah.
not like its combat's not in any other game, that's for sure. It's not really a true action by any means, but it's more of a tab target in my opinion,
Yeah.
with combos that you would do in an action combat. So it's like, I don't know, you can move, you have free camera range, and you're obviously going to have to like move your character's face to the spot where you're ending up to cast some of these abilities, but I'd say it's more tab targeting than action combat, but it is a weird hybrid.
Cool. Yeah, and I know that, or I saw at least that the skill system looks pretty cool. Apparently, you can kind of mix and match skills, because you basically have a bar, kind of like almost like a MOBA, right? Like you only have like 6 skills or something you can do at once, or 7, maybe it's 7.
Yeah, so like WildStar did a similar thing. They're just called limited action sets, and this one's not a true limited action set. It's you have a couple that are set in stone. Right now you can pick up to 2 stances, but as far as like the skill swapping goes, you only get enough points to really put 1 point into each of the skills, and you could have a max of 5 points in each one. But it's like you don't start getting those extra points until after you hit max level. So for example, you'll hit 45 and then you continue getting XP. So it's like the next theoretical level you get is just another skill point.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
A lot of games have that like side progression nowadays, which makes sense. I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
Guild Wars 2, for example. I mean, a bunch of games, but Guild Wars 2 comes to mind. That's cool. One thing that I thought was really cool, I don't know, I mean, every game I've played that I thought was cool, I stopped playing at some point, but I really like the fact that you can tame, like, almost all the monsters. Or at least in Bless right now, it's 660 monsters are tameable as mounts or pets. And they apparently provide buffs depending on which ones they are, and you level them to get better versions of the buff, I guess. Which sounds cool.
Well, I'll correct you a little bit. So it's not like you don't actually tame said pet or said mount per se. It's more of like you're getting the skin from that creature.
Got it.
So you have a mount, you have a pet, and all you're doing when you're taming these new creatures are acquiring of skin of it.
Got it.
But also at the same time, all of those abilities or buffs that you get on the pets are all random. Each different one has a set group of buffs or perks that it can give you, and it's just rolled off said table for that in particular creature. And now you also can get different qualities, and when you go to tame these things as well, you can get a higher quality one. For example, you have your green, blue, purple legendary quality pets.
Sure.
They've all been called different things in the past, but some of these you can tame, and when you tame them normally, you just start out with a level 1 green, like a skin variant for the pet, but you can get lucky, you could get a crit tame, and it ends up being a max level blue, which has a chance of rolling a higher tier ability or perk on said creature. Yeah.
Cool. That sounds neat. So then, okay, so that makes me a little bit like it a little better, but essentially your pet level is just going to be constant then, correct? Like, you don't have to
No,
level every single one of them?
Like, so this is the part on JP I didn't actually test. I've just read and have seen people do this and have been told from other people I've played with on the JP version. Now, they technically are different entities themselves, but they're just a skin. It's a really weird mix, but think of them as different entities. So it's like, let's just say you tame a worm, right? Like, you tame 3 worms. You're going to have 3 different levels because they're 3 different objects.
Okay. Got it. Okay, so you do have to level them separately. That's
Yes.
correct. Okay, gotcha. Still, it looked kind of neat. I mean, I'm gonna guess there's a limited set with 660 monsters. I doubt there's 660 different full skill sets. I mean, I would assume that a lot of them share by like species or something. Like all dragons will have this thing. All bugs or something will have this other kind of skill set or whatever. Like, not each monster has its own skill set, but still sounds really cool. Also, just to be able to, like, get a specific look sounds neat, too, just to have, you know, like, if you're going for some sort of look. So, I'm sure Cal is like, well, I tried to talk to Cal, and he wasn't actually all over the pet system. He doesn't like pets, so. But he's a big, like, you know, costume guy. So I was like, oh, but then you'll get to, like, pick the pet you want, like, the look and how cool it'll look, but he actually wasn't as excited as I was, so we'll see how it goes, I guess. The only other downside I saw was that the classes are race locked, so that kind of blows. But I mean, some MMOs choose to do that, some don't. There's not much you can do about it. Other than that, it looks like they're starting off with 5 classes with plans of doing 7. Is that what they have in the Japanese version right now, Chum? 7 or?
I don't remember seeing the other ones there. I think Mystic is, and the other one is as well. Yeah, I think those are technically both on JP. If they're not, they're on the other version. I can't remember. I know we get them later.
Yeah.
And then I know there's talks of them potentially doing a Warlock type class. I don't know how accurate that is, though.
Yeah, I saw some rumors about it as well, but nothing to confirm yet, so I didn't mention it. But yeah. So, it technically comes out on the 30th unless you buy. So, it comes out on the 30th for $40. It's buy to play, so you do have to purchase it, but it's basically a one-time cost. You can purchase, like, premium time, which gives you some perks. I don't remember all the perks. But it also, if you buy the $70 or $150 Founders Pack, you can play on the 28th, a couple days early. Plus get all the extra stuff with it. So, comes out pretty soon. Looks pretty cool. I definitely want to play it. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to play it, but we'll find out, you know. I know you guys, Chum, are going to play a ton of it, so. Right? So that's the plan.
Sir.
You have a big start, like 25 people right now, so that's good. And that's without recruiting, so hopefully you guys get started and do well. So, well, I appreciate your knowledge, man. I knew a lot of these guys weren't going to play it, so they didn't really look into it. So I just needed somebody to like talk, you know, and explain stuff. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Just pull me back in for Crowfall, and I'll do that one too.
Yes, sir. Definitely will. I appreciate it, man.
Yep, no worries. Thanks for having me.
All right, have a good night.
I miss you already. He didn't respond to that.
No,
he didn't miss me.
He doesn't.
What a rude. What a rude guy.
He doesn't really like you that much.
I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna text him right now.
So, anyways, that's Bless. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely gonna try it out. I'm a big MMO sucker, so I'll try pretty much any MMO when it first comes out, and then after that, you know, after my free month, after I spend, you know, $100 buying the game, I'm like, all right, I'm done. But hey, I still feel like I get some of that investment out of it, you know, when you play it for 30 days. It's fine. All right, cool. That's all we're going to talk about this week with games, at least new games coming out. We got a little bit of news coming out. Not a ton, though, this week. We don't have a ton for news, but we got a little bit. Are we going to talk about grinding gear getting bought out a little bit?
I mean, we can. I mean, there's not really much to say other than they got bought out by one of the biggest gaming companies in the world, pretty much.
Yeah, there is worry, obviously, that stuff changes.
I don't think it's
not just a majority share, 80%,
which is a majority.
Which is majority. I mean, I get it. Technically, majority is 51 to I guess even 100. Yeah. But yeah, well, I get you.
Here's the biggest thing about this. So Tencent already owned all of GGG's operations in China already.
Sure.
So they've already been working with them over there and etc. So they already have like this repertoire, and this has been a thing that's been in the works for a long time, like a long time. So it's not really anything new. Like some of the MTX that we have, like that's been introduced to the game, like the Sin and Innocence set, is sort of like Tencent's sort of, hey, do this more Eastern style MTX, put that in so that we can get that sort of going. But that's about it. Like, it's been some MTX things, but not any more than what we're used to having, realistically. Like, the support packs have been in the game forever because they've always been to, like, support it. The only thing is, like, the only real question is, are the supporter packs actually supporting anything now that they're funded, basically? Or are they just cosmetic packs, which realistically most people were buying them just to look cool anyway.
That's what they were for in the first place.
Yeah, but now when you look at them, I bought them to support them.
Yeah.
I'm not spending $15 for a fucking bunny.
Come on! Yeah. That's what Fortnite does.
True.
It's true.
True.
No. So, like, there's some of that, like, animosity about that sort of aspect of it. Like,
sure.
Why call it a supporter pack if there's... But other than that, I don't think like the game itself is going to change realistically anything, other than the fact that Chris Wilson might be able to get more involved with the game, which is something he's been wanting for a while anyway. But that's about it. Like, I don't think anything's really going to change miraculously. I don't think they're going to be any more, oh, hey, you have to pay to win. Like, that's just not a thing that seems PoE-like. Like, you have to realize...
It doesn't seem like that, company. You're right. But here's one thing I'll say. One thing I'll say is, anytime that a company gets out by another company, it's still reasonable, I feel, to have some sort of fear. Not that it's going to happen. Like, we were looking at it, and they do a lot of acquisitions, and they own, like, League of Legends and stuff like that. And League of Legends... Yeah, sorry, Riot. And that didn't seem to change, really. But, you know... Now, in China, the game changes drastically, but like you said, they already own that part, so that's already been however they want it to be for however long.
Yeah, China's been like the testing realm for most of the things that end up coming to like the main servers, main quote-unquote servers, because China's like its own separate thing because they have all these sort of religious beliefs where like you can't have too much gore in games and stuff. Like you can see this in WoW.
Different culture.
The China servers
different culture. Yeah.
So that's sort of been a thing for a while. But like I said, I don't think it's going to be anything like major. It's going to be mostly cosmetic shit.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, only time will tell, really. But yeah.
Yeah, realistically. But we're also talking about the same community that like freaked out over, oh, PoE is going to Xbox. It's going to change for everyone. It's going to be a big deal. And then nothing happened whatsoever because it's just like, oh, it's on Xbox now. That's about it.
Well, to be honest, community in general does freak out over lots of changes. So it's just nature.
It's not just like a PoE.
Yeah, it's nature. So that makes sense. So we'll just see, you know. And if they change a bunch of stuff and it's pay to win, that's a bad move on their part. I mean, the game's done so well. I mean, that's what I'm saying. The game's done so well. It's like
the biggest thing.
Don't make any crazy changes like that because that's just
like,
bad
one
business.
One of the things that a lot of people are speculating is like one of the reasons that you're pushing for it is because Tencent also owns part of Epic, which is Fortnite, which is BR. And a lot of people are like, well, maybe it's because they're trying to push for a Path of Exile BR because it was so successful for April Fools. And that's sort of like a thing that a lot of people are saying now.
Well, everybody got to get on that BR train.
Who knows? It was fun when it existed, so maybe. Like, I wouldn't be like mad if that happened, per se. Because I have my row at dinner, but, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like mad if it didn't happen either. It's just sort of a thing. Like I'm just sort of, I think everyone sort of just needs to like chill for a bit and just like waiting to see what happens before anyone like overreacts.
No, I gotcha.
No, we have to overreact on everything.
That's right.
True. Freak the
down.
fuck out.
I'm in.
Right in the street.
It's yep. 5-alarm fire, everything.
Anybody excited about any news this week they heard or anything?
Battlefield 5.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
boy.
It got confirmed.
Yep.
It's supposed to be talked about on the 28th, so we'll see what happens there. And it is confirmed to be World War II.
Yeah, I did hear that Battlefield 5 was confirmed. I didn't hear any of that other stuff, so I'm glad you brought it up. I didn't put it as my favorite, so I'm also glad you brought it up. So, cool. Yeah, Battlefield 5. You know, I got a bunch of messages the other day for Call of Duty 4.
Yep. Oh, yep.
And
Call
I
of Duty
was
Black
like,
Ops 4.
and I was like, no, I don't play Call of Duty.
No, so you know me, like I've played some COD in my day.
I know.
And so this one I'm excited for. Not that I'm gonna play it because it's still gonna be shit on PC, and I don't own a console anymore, and I wouldn't play it on console even if I own a console. But I'm excited for it because they're finally fucking getting out of the bullshit of like jetpacks and wall riding.
They're
and all
going
that
back
shit.
to
They're
the
getting rid of
basics,
it.
baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're going back to regular old.
You're a
Call of
normal
Duty.
dude, motherfucker.
Thank God. Like the exosuit bullshit was so stupid.
I think the funniest thing about it is it's on the Blizzard launcher now.
Well,
that's just because
it's
Activision has to be on there now.
Yeah. It's just still interesting.
That is interesting and a good point to bring up because I think, and I mentioned this to some people that work there, and I'm just like, look, is this like, you know, this seems like a trend, or all Activision multiplayer games going to be on Battle.net now? And the answer I got was, it's opened the floodgates. You know what I mean? So there's we're going to probably start seeing a lot more stuff besides what's out there now, Destiny and now that. So
yeah, because if you do it for one person, a lot of other people are like, well, hey now,
as long as
it's the same
money.
publisher. They're also
Yeah,
like a split company. Like they're both technically owned by the same people, right?
Right, yeah, Activision, Blizzard. So it makes sense. So that way you don't have to have another launcher for the same company, basically. Yeah.
Right. The one thing I'm wondering is whether or not they're ever going to fix, because they have a lot of issues with the region with Destiny. Like if you're EU, you have to like switch over to NA to add someone on NA, and then switch back over to EU to play on the EU servers. It's like a really annoying thing. I wonder if they're ever going to like fix that.
Well, if they're going to add more games to it, you'd think they'd start looking at that.
Yeah,
then.
you think like they would, hopefully, right? Because that's, especially for COD, like that's one of those things where you sort of just, there's not a lot of local sort of gaming with that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more of a, you play with a lot of people from wherever the fuck is available.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And I mean, on console, when I did play it, it wasn't really a big issue. Like ping. Okay, if you have high ping, like you're a dick because you can't die per se. But at the same time, for PC, I think it's a little easier to kind of like moderate that. If that makes sense, especially for someone like Blizzard. Like I don't think like that will be an issue as far as.
We'll see how the matchmaking's created. Yeah, it'll
That's
just
the thing.
depend.
Yeah, like here's the thing with it being Activision, it's not necessarily like Blizzard's whole domain on that one. Like Activision still has a say, and we have to do these localization sort of things. So it's sort of in the air, realistically. Because like I said, they still haven't fixed Destiny's like matchmaking sort of shit, and that's been out for a while now.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Cool. Well, for me, my exciting news is I might actually get some use out of my No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah, it's going multiplayer, baby.
Full interactive multiplayer is coming out, and that sounds pretty neat to me. The problem is, I don't know a single fucking person who also owns the game.
Who owns it?
So I might not be playing it, but I'm hoping that I have some friends that did buy it, and I'll find them. And
I will be buying it because I wanted to play it. I just didn't want to play it solo.
Solo, yeah.
So I will be buying it now that it is not a solo game.
So kind of like my excited news for this month, but like probably the only person in the planet. But whatever, it's cool. What about you?
It only took them 2 years to figure out what they fucked up, you know.
Yeah,
so
that's 2 years since release, by the way. When it comes out, it'll be basically 2 years. So, anyways, Tarnus, what you got?
What's up?
What do you got for news that you're excited about?
Incursion comes out in 9 days, 14 or 15 hours, 26 minutes, and 26 seconds.
So next podcast is next podcast still going to be Incursion because it's like 2 more days.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's going to be his excited news all the way until then.
Right. No, I got you. Cool. Yeah, that's whatever. I mean, the PoE, you guys love it, so that's good. Ian, you got anything?
I already said my thing. What do you mean?
What was your thing? I missed.
I don't remember. I don't remember. I think it was
News you're
Tencent,
most
right?
excited about?
Yeah, dude, Tencent buying up DGG.
I don't think that.
I'm excited because I
Who's
like the
excited
Eastern
about
style of MTX.
Okay.
I want to see like the development. I want to see them like have enough money to develop like neat,
I mean,
interesting
now
things.
now they do definitely have that, and we'll see how
Yeah.
it goes. So yeah.
Like I want to see them be a little bit more ballsy with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I gotcha.
Like I want to see them get real ballsy.
Real.
Add another
ballsy.
like 5 acts. Hell yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Don't do that. Please don't do that. I take it back.
Double the game's link. That's fine. Cool.
No.
Well, I think that's it for this week. So this was not a bad week. It's pretty short. Normally we have like this huge patch to talk about, which takes like 45 minutes. So I'm glad that didn't.
I mean, I could find one real quick.
you-
We have a bot.
no.
For that.
I mean, Arc just dropped one today.
Yeah,
but
Ark just dropped one.
I don't know if
Warframe
it was
dropped
huge,
one.
but still. Okay. Calm down.
Warframe's
every
wasn't
patch
really
is
big.
huge, but no, we don't need to
Calm
talk
it down.
about it. It's fine. It has nothing to do with this anyways. None of us
so-
play it.
So we'll just move on to
play Warframe.
streamer spotlight real quick. You know, I'm picking the streamers almost every week, by the way. So you guys feel free to put.
Oh, I mean,
Last week
I-
was
down.
TARDIS. Thank you very much.
Yeah, last week was
yeah.
Harness, so fuck
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
also-
you.
You're right. You're
Also,
right.
you didn't tell us. You didn't tell us whose week it was to pick, or else we would have picked.
No, just
Yeah.
I
if
only watch
you
you
have
guys.
a suggestion, just put it down, and if we don't get to it that week, we'll put it on the next week. If that makes.
I
sense.
mean,
I
I
only
always.
watch you guys. That's
Okay.
Oh,
well, that's
actually,
good.
yeah. Let's do this because I don't know when this happened, but good old. Let me get his thing first before I'll post it in your. You want me to just post it in your Twitch chat?
You can do
His
exclamation point shout out, and it should.
Okay.
It should.
And it's just his name? Does
yeah.
that work?
Yeah.
Is it shout out one word?
Yeah.
I've forgotten how to spell shout out apparently. SHOUTOUT, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, so this is our buddy Vondel, who we've known for a while. He actually became a partner, and I don't know when it happened because I missed it,
Woo!
but he's actually a partner now, which
He's
is
a big
fantastic.
boy now.
He's in Australia, and he's been working hella hard this past year, like solid, of being a full-time streamer. And he's been doing good. So he's like the most entertaining streamer I have watched.
I love
because
his.
He's so good at reading the chat while killing people. Like he will still win PUBG games while reading the chat the whole time, and it blows my mind. Also, he's really good at. He makes a lot of scenes and stuff.
Yes.
He every month he makes a new scene for his subscribers. So like if you're like a 13-month subscriber, you know you're gonna get a special scene when you subscribe again, and he does it like the whole time. So I think he's up to like probably like 15 months now. So 1 through 15, he has a custom scene for it, and he just goes crazy. And then he has, of course, emotes and stuff like that.
His emotes on stream are really good. Like
Yeah,
they're so funny.
like,
they're so random. They're just good.
yeah,
They're so
super
good.
great guy. Definitely check him out if you ever have a chance. Unfortunately, he isn't Aussie, so he has switched back to his Aussie stream time. He used to do 11 p.m. America time, like CST. Now he's back into 3 a.m. our time, which is like normal
Oh,
for him.
God.
So so if you're up late one night and you want to go catch a really fun stream, go check him out. He does not stream on the weekends for him. So for us, it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So then Sunday through Thursday for Americans is his stream schedule.
Just go to his channel, check it out. He probably has a schedule on the bottom. So
He does, yeah. He even has a timer. It tells you
It's-
when his next stream's gonna be.
It's for those of you who are just watching and don't see or don't have chat. It's Twitch TV-Vondel VONDLE. So
Yep.
check him out. I'll also post him. What I'm gonna start doing is on every week after we get done with the stream, like the next day, I'm gonna do a little post like on Twitch and Twitter and Facebook and stuff that has like the streamer of the week. So if you don't catch it if you're watching our videos and you don't catch it there, you can hop on Twitter or Facebook and catch it there. Or like I said, I'll say it out loud like we just did, and hopefully you can type it in yourself, So hopefully those help with exposure slightly, a little bit. So
And be
anyways.
sure to check out our Facebook to enter into the giveaway for the 4K monitor we're giving out.
Oh yeah, we got that monitor. It popped up in chat a couple times. So if you haven't signed up, we only got a few. What is it, like a week? Probably a little longer than that. Let's see.
Are you doing it right before the con or after the con?
I'm doing it technically on Friday of next week, so like 10 days.
Okay.
We got like 10 days left, and we're giving away that monitor. So
Yep, 4K monitor or a monitor of equivalent value.
price, yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, hey guys,
So if
that's
you
it
don't-
for us this week. Appreciate you guys hanging out and checking out the stream, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Until then,
Tune in Thursday where we hopefully beat Divinity finally.
Maybe
No,
we'll beat it. We'll see.
Maybe we'll beat it. Maybe we'll get stuck
too
on a
many
puzzle for
puzzles.
2 hours. We'll see.
Oh, we're definitely gonna be stuck in a puzzle for 2 hours.
Oh,
It might bug out. We might not be able to finish it at all.
Yeah,
Tarnus?
we may watch John kill himself for no reason other than Ian telling him to.
Tarnus, have you been streaming
That's
any
me killing
Conan?
him.
Not lately. I've been busy with a bunch of other stuff.
Stream
Like
Conan,
Conan.
you son of a bitch.
But like, yeah, I could do that.
Y'all check out Tarnus.
Yeah,
and
someone told
Jiggly.
me to stream.
Yeah.
Someone told me to stream Conan, and I was like, I really don't think Conan's a game you find like you could stream and without. I don't know. I'm not that talkative when I'm
Unless-
streaming unless I have people to talk to. so.
Unless the purge is happening, you should definitely stream during a purge.
Oh, I'll
'cause I
definitely
wanna
stream
see
a
that
purge
shit.
when
Yeah,
that
you
bar
guys-
gets full. Oh yeah, let's go.
You guys are going to be getting the purge. You took it from us.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
No, it's
Oh, wait.
individual per clan. It should be.
Yeah.
Should be
Every
clan
individual
gets
per
purged.
clan. So you should still have a bar. Like everybody should
Never
have their
mind.
own bar.
I have a very large bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, y'all take care, and we'll catch y'all next week. Thanks for watching.
All right, have a good
Peace.
one.
See ya.
Ciao,